Welcome to the 1000 Club podcast, where we believe that behind every woman, there's a tribe chanting, yes! We call our tribe the 1000 Club, and every other Thursday, we invite you into our VIP section to chat, console, shoot the breeze, or inform. Find us everywhere, including Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and Facebook. And remember to follow us on all socials at 1000 Club.
We are back for another episode of the 1000 Club podcast. Hey, everyone.
Hey, y'all.
We have some VIPs in the house. We have Papi and Patrice. We'll get to know them a little bit better. But as you know, we always do a check-in. Today's check-in is going to be a little different. It's going to be real quick. All I want is one word of what you are thankful for. So I'll start with our guests, Papi and Patrice.
One word.
Patrice.
Oh, that's so cute. Can't talk that. I was going to say you. It's the same thing.
She's cheating, y'all.
Hello, Courtney.
I am thankful for PTO, which I will be taking tomorrow.
Yes, I wish that was me. I'm gonna go, and then I'll turn it over to Rashana. I'm thankful for health.
Okay. And I'm gonna go with family. Yes, I'm gonna go with family. And I think that's a good place to start our episode today, because our episode today is going to be about pushing through. So have you all ever heard of PUSH, P.U.S.H, where they say pray until something happens, right? And when you think about family, Patrice and Papi recently officially added each other to their family. Hey, oh, look at y'all coordinated with the ring.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. And so I'm going to start really just with like a preface to this, right? I have wanted Patrice on this podcast since last season. I think that was even before she met Papi. And the reason being is because I remember meeting Patrice through Christy when I first moved to DC. And at that time, I think you might have been in a relationship, but ending one, right? And I remember we were talking, and I was like in the back seat. We were driving. Maybe it was like we were going to Marvin's or something like that. And I specifically remember how strong-willed Patrice was. That was like, she was just like, if this ain't working, it gotta go. And this was like a long-term relationship. And I remember at that time, I think I was like 22 or 23. And I was like, dang, yo, she willing to like she's really doing this. And at that time, Patrice, you might have been like in your early 30s, right? And so I remember, or she said, whoa, wait, no, or late 20s, early 30s.
I'm telling my age.
Oh, I'm not telling your age, but I am telling your age for this part of the story, because you know, when you're young, you have all these ideas and thoughts of like, by the time I'm this age, I'm gonna be married. This age, I'm gonna have children. And I remember being 23, sitting there like, wow, that takes a lot. Because I don't know, even at that age, if I would have made that same decision. You know, I also remember being like, man, I hope I'm not making this decision at that age. And the truth is, I'm not making that decision at that age because I ain't got nobody, right? But I wanted Patrice on because she has always represented, at least to me, someone who understood her worth, stuck to her guns, and enjoyed life, enjoyed the journey along the way. And I'm sure that is definitely a large part of your story, but it's not all of your story. And so I wanted to have you on, and how fitting is it that when the stars align, that you were able to come on now with your husband. And so welcome to the VIP section of the 1000 Club podcast. And I love to have you all introduce yourselves.
Sure. You want to go first?
I'll let you take lead.
Okay. Well, hi, everyone. I'm Patrice Calderon. And I'm very happy to be on the show. I did want to go on last year, but I don't know what happened. But I really enjoy fellowshipping with Rashana and Chrissy and Courtney. So I'm very happy to be here.
Oh, very well said. Hello, everyone. My name is Papi Calderon. I'm Patrice's husband. This is my wife, and I am she's the guest of honor. But I'm here to enlighten the show and just have a good time.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I'm like cheesy, like damn, like that was just so cute. So I want to start off as we were talking about. We're going to talk about Patrice's journey, her love story, which I believe everyone's love story begins with them. And so we have you here, Papi. So I want to make sure while we have you here that we get to know you a little bit also. Can you tell us a little bit more about yourself, where you're from, where you grew up, and what has been your journey to Patrice?
So, long story short, I came to the States from the island at a very young age. I was a toddler and moved around a lot. Name it West Coast, East Coast, New York, Miami, Richmond, the whole nine. Joined the military, did 2 tours in Afghanistan, and I landed in DC. And I was blindsided by Patrice. I'm gonna tell you right now. Lived in
Tell us
Bowie.
right now. Tell us right now.
Tell us, yes.
We want to know right now.
Let me get it out. And well, I think I went through a lot of growing pains and emotional maturing and seasoning. And I'm at a season now where I'm emotionally matured, relationship matured, and I wasn't here 16 months ago, but I was here 15 months ago when I met Patrice. So like it was a 42-year long process that brought me to where I'm at now. And well, me and her Uncle Kenny, call him Country. He country as hell. And him and I were neighbors, and our driveways abutted each other and went to the garages. So we were drinking buddies, you name it. I got home from work, cracked a couple drinks, and took some shots and stuff. And one day it was his daughter's graduation, and they had during the pandemic.
Mm-hmm. The drive-by.
We had a drive-by celebration. Mm-hmm. And lo and behold, Patrice, her son Teddy, and her mom popped out. And well,
wait, before you go on, can we just clarify? Teddy, her son Teddy, is her dog's son.
He's not a dog.
He's not a dog. He's a human.
He's a human. Oh, okay. just so people watching.
That's a whole human right there.
A whole dog. Who Teddy is.
That's my fur boo. That's my thing.
Tinker Winker. And yeah, well, and I'm, Patrice and I met, and we started chatting, and we really blended in together. It was effortless, guys. Mm-hmm. And she's a cornball. Guess what? I'm the exact same cornball. We're like 2 peas in a pocket. Like we were so perfect.
2 peas in a pod, boo.
2 corns on a cob.
Really?
In the pocket.
Yeah, I'm Puerto Rican.
English is not his first language.
In my country, it's pockets. 2 peas in a pocket.
Yeah. Y'all 2 kernels on a cob.
Oh, that's cute. Yeah. Like, would you get a shirt and say 2 kernels?
Oh, that would be real cute.
That would be cute.
You're about that, Christmas. Did I answer your question?
Yes, you did. But I want to go back a little bit because it's not often that we get to have male VIPs here on the show. And you talked about the growth, the maturity that you had to go through. Can you, for our listeners the men that might be going through this, that journey, can you tell us, I guess, the highlights? What are the highlights of that journey for you that might help another man who's on that same journey?
Man, that's a tough one. I think for me, my thing was always want none, need none, ask for nothing. Just live life, enjoy the person that's next to you. If it's your dog, if it's your sister, if it's your father, if it's your neighbor, if it's your friend, just enjoy the person that's next to you. Enjoy your brothers. And, you find a female that's spending time with you, just enjoy that time with her.
Yeah.
Be true to yourself, be true to her, and live it as it is. Live it the way you're feeling it, and just just have honesty with yourself, number one, and honesty with whoever you're
Yeah.
dealing with, whether it be your boss that you're talking to, your colleague, your sister. You just have honest relationships with whomever you're with, and transparency is that's what worked for me.
Yeah. Can you think of one moment before you met Patrice that when you look back now, you knew that prepared you to be her husband?
Hmm.
Rashada with the good questions today.
That's a great question.
Well, I survey some people, about what they might want to know.
I'm taking notes.
Well, it was. I've got to say yes.
And it might be a
Maybe
moment or a
I can't think of
situation.
one moment, but I
Right.
can think of a lot of moments. I think
Yeah.
it's a lot of trial and error. It's like you fall down, you get it wrong, gotta get back up and get it right. You know what I'm saying? And I think what prepared me most for Patrice was learning how to surrender myself,
Mm,
being unselfish without putting myself first, and
mm.
that was key. Because I've always got to take care of myself, make sure I'm good. I'm always worried about making sure I'm ahead of the game. I am now, but I do it now with Patrice being first. So it changes everything. It's a game changer.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Can
yes,
I ask a
yes.
quick question?
Sure, of course.
So, Poppy, did you have a desire to get married prior to meeting Patrice? And I had another question that just escaped me. Did you, so I hear a lot of people say, like, when you know. Like, how did you know when you met Patrice that this was going to be your wife?
That
It's
was gonna be
another
my next
question I had.
question.
If it comes to me, I gotta ask it.
Yes, and Christy, if you forget, put it in the chat on the side.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a good question.
So yeah. So question number one: did I ever wanted the desire to be married? Did I ever want to get married? Um, the answer is yes. Was I ready to get married? No. I did a lot of things to get ready to get married, as far as self growth,
Mm,
uh, career wise,
mhm.
financially wise, and debt wise, credit score wise.
Come on now.
I owe $0 to all my credit cards. I'm paid in
Come on.
full. All my money's going to my bank account.
Yes, yes, yes,
Well,
yes.
technically speaking, for my baby.
Patrice account.
Hello.
That's right.
And
Okay.
Hello.
so I wanted to get married. Yeah, I wanted to get married, but I honestly didn't know how to do it. I didn't know where to go out to find a woman. I was out all the time. I met a lot of great, attractive, great personality. Women with amazing charisma, and just they had everything. Everything you see on TV. Mommy has all of that, but she has a beautiful heart and she has a kind soul.
Oh.
So like mommy. So how did I know? So this
Ooh, mommy and
kind of
Papi.
blends into the second answer.
He calls me mommy.
I heard. That's what I said. Ooh, mommy and
I love
Papi.
that. I love it.
Yes, yes,
Hey,
yes, yes,
mommy.
yes. Okay,
Sorry,
okay.
Hey.
Julia.
Yes, because Courtney and I going to Puerto Rico in March, so I'm gonna be like, call me mommy, okay? Call me
That is so for sure
mommy.
says, call me
Yes,
mommy.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
yes, yes. Yo me llama mommy. I'm
Oh
be
my
ready.
gosh.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
So and that's how I knew that Patrice was the one, because when I met Patrice, and because I've been in the streets so long, I've been in the streets so long, I've been in the streets my whole life, and tired. I've been in the streets so long, I've seen it, all. Hundreds of thousands of people have been in front of me. How you doing? Interacting with a million folks nonstop. So because of that, I developed a natural skill to see what's real. And because of my upbringing, I wasn't fortunate to have parents. So I grew up the way I was able to. I survived by any means. Through that, I developed skills to read people and see people for who they are. And I would tune into their station and play their music to communicate with different folks. But with her, I didn't have to do that. It just was just so natural. It was just we blended in so perfect. It was effortless. And that's why I knew that Patrice was going to be my wife. I was going to be her husband.
Okay.
That's the honest truth.
Yo, we need some tissue.
I know, first I'm
I know,
crying.
right?
Seriously though. Seriously
We
though.
have criers on our podcast, so we
Um,
definitely have the tissues ready.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but this is the first time. This is the first time a guest has made me tear up. Normally I might tear up, talking about my own stuff, but
Mhm.
that's like y'all like Oprah right now with us. And so, okay, let me. I just regain my thoughts. Um, so you all have probably heard people on social media asking like, what was Sierra's prayer, right? And recently on the Summer Walker album, we finally got Sierra's prayer. But I remember when people were asking, Sierra did a live with her husband Russell Wilson, and he said, "But y'all didn't ask me what my prayer was, right?"
Mm.
And
Mhm.
so, Papi, I wanted to ask you. So, 16 months ago, right? Like you said, you were at a time when you were ready, right? You were tired of the streets. You were ready. Did you have a prayer, or did you have a list, a summary? What was your ask to God and the universe?
Good question. So I got to say this. When I pray, my real prayer, I never pray for myself. I always praying, God, take care of my neighbor. God, protect the people that I was with today. Thank you for the food. Bless those who are less fortunate. Bless them the same way you bless me. Extend your mercy. Put peace in their lives the way you put peace in my life. So I never prayed for myself. When I prayed, I always prayed for others, because I always know that God's going to give me what's mine. I got what's coming to me.
That's it right there.
So my prayer is never for me. My prayer is outwards. My prayer is for the next person. That's what I pray. I don't pray for myself.
Mm-hmm.
I just trust God,
Right.
because God knows your heart and He gives you without you asking.
Yeah.
I was prayed for the next person, and I thank God for whatever the heck I was going through. I said, Lord, you know why I'm going through this? Thank you. Just keep it moving. And that's just because of the challenges that I had growing up, and it wasn't too easy. Ain't no sob story. I'm saying that
Right.
I'm grateful for it. Just life in general. So, does that answer the question, or did I go on a
Yeah.
tangent there?
No, you didn't. You answered the question.
Yeah.
Yeah, you answered the question. It's interesting because, like you said, one of the lessons that you had to learn to prepare you for Patrice is selflessness, right? And so it makes sense that your prayer prior to would be something selfless, because that
Yes.
is, from what I've heard from people who are married and have been together a long time, that is one of the biggest things that is necessary, to keep a bond together, is being able to look outside of yourself. So,
Can I just say, from what I heard, I like pretty much what you're saying. It's like whatever God has for you is for you, and He's going to give it to you no matter what. And so I think when people think about like other people, what they have, like Sierra and then Russell and other couples, like you have to think about, like you have to pray your own prayer. You can't pray anybody else's prayer, right? Because what God has for somebody else may not be for you. And so I like
Right.
that you said that, because I think that we often look at other people and kind of idolize what other people have, but we fail to remember that like God has a special assignment and purpose for everyone and for every marriage. So I love that you said that.
Yeah.
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. I saw that kind of debate online when people are saying you can't pray Sierra's prayer. And I took a different take, right? Because I feel like, if some people need some help in terms of the wording, right? But even though I might be saying the same words as Sierra, just like Christy said, my heart is different. I'm a different person, and so
Absolutely.
so when I'm saying make him supportive, make him love me, and whatever else she said, right? Like, that is going to look different for me. You know what I mean? And so I totally
Mhm.
agree, like what Christy's saying, like, take take what you need, because we know that we have blueprints for prayer. We play the Lord's Prayer, we play the 23rd Psalm, like we pray those things all the time. But
Mhm.
know that you might not get a Russell Wilson, because that, like Chris said, might not be your assignment, and the two of you all were able to find each other because you all are for each other. So I want to thank you, Papi. But before you leave, I want to start with I want to get Patrice's take on what happened that day when you all met. I
Sure.
want your side of the story, Patrice.
Sure. So you know me, I'm very detailed and I'm really chatty. So you guys will be like, land the plane, land the plane. So um I was just ending I I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what it was. So and I was like, okay. A lot of times I think as women we go out and say, oh, we're looking for a man, we're looking for a man. And it's been instilled in me from my parents and my man of God, my church, my first lady. He who finds a wife finds a good thing. So as a woman, we should never, ever, ever look for anyone. And so sometimes when I go out, I'm like, okay, is this going to be the day? But then I got a revelation like, okay, God, I shouldn't be looking for anyone. So I went to my uncle's house, like Papi said, and Papi and my uncle were neighbors, literally like, and I actually met Papi in 2019. Let me just back it up. But he didn't remember me, but he remembered my mama. I'm like, how you not gonna remember this? But you remember my mama. But anyway, yeah, I was like, we could have been married in 2020.
You remember that second time though.
Last time.
That's
Timing,
okay.
right?
And because
God's timing, right?
because we remembered your mom, he knew the fruit didn't fall too far from the tree. You know what I mean?
Hello, right? So I was like, okay. So we pull up, and it was a what is it called? A parade. What is it? The parade thing?
Virtual. Purchasing.
No, it wasn't virtual. It was a
Number
parade thing.
drive-by.
Drive by. Thank you. Thank you. Drive by. Because during the pandemic, everyone was doing like the whole drive by thing. So I had Ted. I was in the sunroof, and I had my little sign with my cousin. And he comes to the car, and my mom said, "Isn't that guy from last year?" I was like, "Oh yeah." My uncle Kenny had a function, and he was there because they're good friends, they're neighbors. And I was like, "That is him." My mom was like, well, you single. I mean, I was like, Mom, chill out. So he comes to the passenger side. I don't know if you remember this. Opens my mom's door. Teddy, no, actually, no. You open my mom's door, and I think I had the windows down because it was hot. And Teddy's all like out on the window, and he greets Teddy. I'm like, check one, check plus one. Because I have been known, and y'all gonna think I'm crazy, but I have been known to break up with people if they do not like animals. Like to me, that is a deal breaker. That is a red flag. That's just me. Like you all said, Sierra prayer. That's my journey. That's my
Lord,
prayer.
may
So
he love animals, right?
must love animals, not dogs. Must love animals. So when Teddy licked him all over the face and he like embraced it, I was like, oh. And then he helped my mom out the car. I was like, oh, because my mama. Everybody knows I am about my mama. My mama a deal breaker. So we got out the car and it was literally like effortless. I forgot why I was there. I was like, oh, where's my cousin? Oh, here's your poster. Here you go. And then we were talking the entire time. And my uncle came over and was like, what you doing talking to my niece? And Poppy was like, oh, I'm going to take your niece out. And my uncle was like, man, talking to my niece. My uncle pretty much was saying, like, I will kill you and help them look for bury you in my backyard and help them look for your body.
That's what I said.
And what did you say? Poppy said, I would die
go ahead. I would
1,000 times. And I was like, yes, dude, okay. So,
Oh, he was spitting it early.
was ready. I was like, yes, dude,
From the
okay.
get-go.
Right. So we exchanged information, and in the back of my mind, I was like, "Oh, he gonna do this whole 2 to 3 days," because you know how they do, y'all, right? Oh, I'm gonna text her in 2 to 3 days. He texts right away. He was like, "It was very nice meeting you and your mom and Teddy." I was like, "Oh, you remember my dog's name, right?" So he was like, "I would love to take you out for a date. Text me when you get home." And so I was like, oh, "Okay." So I texted him when I got home, and he was like, "When are you free?" And I was like, "Maybe next weekend." And he was like, "Well, I would like to see you this weekend." I was like.
He had a plan.
Okay, well, he had a plan.
With
Wait, can I
sense
ask a
of
quick question?
urgency.
Oh yeah, it was urgency. Can I ask a quick
Yes.
question? So you said you all met during the pandemic. How did were you all both just like open to like meeting? Like, were you nervous? Did y'all meet with masks? Like,
So I honestly don't remember. It wasn't like I was expecting anything, and he wasn't either. It was just kind of like
It was outdoors as well.
one, we
Oh,
always
okay,
met
outdoors.
outdoors, and then
Okay.
it was just like he said, it was just kind of like effortless. So our first date, we met outside. We did have our mask on, but then when we were sitting eating and talking, we took it off. I honestly didn't even think about, oh, this nigga may have COVID. Oh, can I say that? Oh, sorry.
It's okay. No,
I
you're fine. You're fine.
was like, oh,
Yeah.
he may have COVID, and because there was no what's the thing?
Restrictions, yeah.
There were no restrictions. There was no
No,
the other
no
thing.
guidelines.
No, the thing.
Vaccine.
Yeah, there was no vaccine. So I mean, it had just started in March, and we had met in May. I know y'all like, dang, y'all doing that thing. Like, you married already? Yeah, we met in May. And so I was just kind of like, okay, I was literally going with the flow. But prior to that, really, really quickly, the whole Sierra thing, I had prayed in January, and I was just like, okay, God, I have been in 3 relationships, 4 years each.
Dang, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, my
I
bad.
didn't know that, y'all.
I think it was 2. Let me see.
Whatever. You said 3. You
No, it
you
was
can't take it
3.
back.
It was 3. 4 years each. And so some of my friends were like, girl, you better date a politician because you're doing these 4-year terms. I'm like, I'm trying to tell you. And so I prayed to God. I was like, because the other thing that I was in, it was very gray. And I have never been gray my whole life. I don't even like the color gray. I'm very black and white. And so I was like, okay, God, that is number one. I want someone who's going to be about me and someone who's going to know what they want. And then my wedding vows, I said, I don't know if you remember, I was like, thank you for not playing with my heart. That was number one. I didn't have, it wasn't even about my biological clock and my age. It was just about this journey. And I was just tired, like emotionally and mentally tired. And so it's so funny because I was like, God, you real funny. Because everything I prayed, it's like Papi is this, but to the extreme. I was like, God, you real funny.
You better
Real
watch what
funny.
you ask for.
Now watch what you pray
That's
for.
right.
You gonna get it.
I said, oh, you
No,
want it? I'm going to give it to you times 10. Okay.
right.
He
Because
said
I said,
exceedingly and
okay,
abundantly above all that you could ask or think.
running over, girl. Exceedingly. Because I had prayed, I don't want anyone to play with my heart. And then number 2, I was like, I want someone to include me in their whole life. Papi includes me on everything.
I
Like
love
everything.
it.
Like everything.
It's fun.
Like everything.
It's so much fun.
And
You
so
have
I
no
also
idea.
said I wanted someone who was going to want to be included in my life. And like
Yes,
just last week,
that part.
I am very, very big on outreach. Like I'm a firm believer that we are blessed to be a blessing.
Yes.
And I've been a part of National Council of Negro Women for 11 years. And last week, Papi was like, oh, what are we doing? And I was like, I'm getting used to it. I was like, well, I'm doing this. And he was like, oh, I'm going with you. And I was like,
Love it.
really? And he spent the whole day. We bought food for these 2 families. We delivered the food. We sat and prayed with them and talked to them for hours. And I was like, this is what I've been wanting. I was like, where were you like 30 years ago? We could have had like 9 kids by now. So I was very,
You
I
wasn't
think,
ready 30 years ago. God knew that. He wasn't ready 30 years ago.
Right.
right. Well, 30 years ago, I was just born, right?
I know. That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
right.
So nobody was ready. Nobody ready.
Right.
Nobody was ready.
So I think last year, because I was scarred so much and it was so much hurt and disappointment, I was at a point when I was like, enough is enough. God, I'm bringing you to the carpet. I know what your word says. You
Come
said to
on.
seek you first, and all these things are going to be added. I've been seeking you. Where are the things? When is it going to be added? You will give me the desires of my heart. So I was actually praying God's word back to him.
Come
And
on.
then a couple months later, Papi in May. So,
Right.
and then we literally went on our first date the following
Wednesday.
week.
No.
Actually, there was a couple
Wednesday.
days because he wanted to see me soon.
I said, look, I can't wait till the Wednesday. What are you doing Wednesday?
Yeah. Oh, you
Yes.
remember it was Wednesday?
Wednesday,
What I
bro.
had, what I had.
He was like, right now.
Go ahead.
So yeah. So then, literally after that, it was kind of like, and I think, Chrissy, you may can attest to this. A lot of people kept saying they could feel Papi's heart, the genuineness. When people were giving like the toast at our wedding, people wrote in our guest book. It's literally real. Like, does he get on my nerves? Yes, I get on his nerves, but his heart, it's
Yeah.
like one of the pure. He's like pure like my grandmother, and I didn't know anyone could be as pure as my grandmother, except for my grandmother. Like his
Yeah.
heart is, and then even my pastor said it. So it was just everything kind of confirmed it for me. I know that was really long about
No,
the
it
day
wasn't.
we met.
It wasn't. It
Can I
wasn't.
just
It wasn't.
say
Good.
really quickly? So I
Yeah.
remember when Patrice texted my friend Jessica and I telling us that she had met Papi. And I don't even remember what you said about him. And I didn't get a chance to meet Papi until the wedding because, I mean, I live in Chicago and it was a pandemic. But I just knew Papi was a good person just because of the way that Patrice talked about him, just even from seeing like the pictures and the social
Yeah.
media posts. Like, I just knew that I knew he was going to treat my girl right. Like, he was going
Aw.
to, like, I knew he wasn't playing with her heart. And
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
yeah, and at the wedding, oh my gosh, like the love that you could feel all
Aw.
throughout that wedding. It was really truly the most
Oh, you make
beautiful
me cry.
wedding that I've attended. And it's
Beautiful, man.
not just because of, it was a beautiful venue. It's not just because of the beautiful decor, but all of the words that were said. Your pastor said such powerful
Mm.
words. It was
Yeah.
very encouraging to me. All of the people who came up and gave toast said very
Mhm.
encouraging words.
Yeah.
Like, you have a strong community around you all, and it was just
Yeah.
really felt. So I just wanted to add that.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Yeah.
Christy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do have. Actually, have. I have the next question is for the both of you all. So Papi, you mentioned that you're from Puerto Rico. Patrice, you're from this area, the DMV, right?
I'm from the Dominican Republic.
Oh,
No, I'm not. I'm playing. I'm from Maryland. Not
she's from
Maryland, but
Maryland.
Maryland.
And so, what was it like for you all to blend cultures?
Everybody asked that. So can I take it first? Can I
No,
take
no.
it first?
Yeah,
You
go.
know I'm gonna say that, right?
No, whatever.
So honestly, like everyone was like, "Well, you got you a little Puerto Rican thing." It is really, and I'm not trying to be funny, and I don't mean to offend anyone, but Poppy is blacker than I am. I'm just keeping it real. When I first
Yeah, I
met
was
him, I
gonna
said
ask
he
Papi, do you identify as black? I didn't want to assume because I know like they're Afro Latinos, but I didn't want to
right,
assume
right.
like how you identify.
No, so I identify as Puerto Rican,
Hmm.
but I can
Assimilate
assimilate.
very
Yeah,
well.
very well. I was brought up in a black elementary school, black middle
Right.
school. I was the only Hispanic in my whole school,
Hmm.
and that's culturally that's all I knew. That's all I knew.
Right.
Besides my family.
When I first met Poppy, I thought he was either light skinned or biracial. It wasn't until like my male bestie Ken was like, "Oh yeah, that nigga Puerto Rican. He's like New York Puerto Rican." And I was like, "Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Which is
oh
why
yeah,
he's black.
that's right, y'all.
Because
Right,
I'm sorry, up north Puerto Ricans to me, like growing up,
Yeah.
we call them Spanish, not because of Spain, but because that's the only thing that separates us is that they
yeah,
speak
Right.
yeah,
Spanish
Yes.
and we
yeah,
speak English. But at
Yes.
the end of the day, we all the
right,
same diaspora.
right,
So,
exactly. So the culture thing, and I'm not gonna cry. When I first met his family, I was just like, "Oh my gosh, these people are like my family." It's
A Caribbean.
It's
yes.
no different, except for they eat pork, and I don't eat pork.
She ain't
It's
black, y'all.
literally, shut up. They literally love to cook, eat, the music,
Party,
dance,
Yes.
party, host,
dominoes,
hospitable. It's the
the whole
same
nine.
thing. And I was like, wow, I had no idea. And like, to me, honestly, it's the only difference is they speak Spanish
Hmm.
fluently as their number one language. And I thought I was fluent, but being around Poppy's family, I'm not fluent at all.
Yeah.
But they speak Spanish fluently, and I speak it a little bit. But they speak English fluently too, and I speak English fluently. So I honestly, the only difference is they speak Spanish. Even because when we went on our honeymoon to Cartagena, there were people that looked like you said, Rashana, Afro
Yes.
Latinos. They looked
Right.
just like
They
us.
thought that
Yes.
she was from Cali.
They thought I was
Yes.
from Cali,
They just got
Colombia.
off the
Straight
boat a
talk
little
They
French.
thought I was
earlier.
Colombian. I was like, no, I'm from Estados Unidos. Are you sure? Yeah, I'm American. So the culture thing, honestly, it wasn't a culture shock. It wasn't. It was literally I like his family more than I like him.
I'm okay with that.
it was effortless. Like I would go over to his family's house and without him being there, it's effortless. It's not a culture shock. It's not like she dark skin or she black. You know what I mean? It's none of
Right.
that.
Yeah.
None of that.
Yeah. They literally come in all shades. And so the last question I
Yeah.
have for the two of you all, speaking of family and integration, integration meaning integrating the family, not like civil rights integration. But
I was like, Jim Crow?
right, amen. No, but the last question I have with the two of you all is how important was it for you all? Christy mentioned just the tribe that you have, right? And our podcast is about friendship. We believe that, behind every successful woman is a tribe of other women yelling yes. And in this case, that also includes like there's a tribe of men too. They're supporting. How important was it for you all to, if at all, include your family and friends in your like process from in your dating process to marriage?
Can I answer that?
Sure. I know what you're gonna say.
Yeah, she knows me. To me, I don't give 2 cents about what anybody thinks. Mommy comes first. If everybody accepts her, and I mean, I know my family they would, because actually my family actually like her a lot. They love her. But I'm not here to gain anybody else's approval. The only one's approval that matters is my wife's. So I'm not here to please anybody. I'm not here to please the world. I'm not here to please my friends. I don't care if we've been together since grade school or elementary school or whatever. I don't believe in having to worry about anyone else other than the people that you love. Now, if my family has an issue with who I'm dating, then I'm obviously not from the right family, or we don't have the right family values installed in us. And I say that with a lot of pride.
I would just also add that I'm not private. I'm sure you guys know that. I'm very public, but Papi is very private. So I'm learning to not include friends and family into everything. But I will say that we put God first. Like God is the center. So that's probably the only being or power that we would have in everything. But in terms of like family and friends, I mean, we go to family functions together, like my side, his side, and we have our friends. We double date, and I'll go out with my friends separately, and he'll go out with his friends separately, and we go out friends together. So, but in terms of like the dating process, I just told my friends, I was like, oh, I met this guy. Like Christy said, we're in a group text, and I'm in a group text with other friends. Like, oh, I met this guy. We'll see how it goes.
Hey, you know what, baby? I think because of our personalities and the way we are, we don't have that problem.
Yeah.
Because of who we are, we don't generally have that issue that the other people might have, because she's a lovable. Everybody that meets her loves her, and I think I would like to think that I'm able to get along with a lot of folks as well.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's an issue that I rarely come across, unless it's somebody that really I don't know, God bless them, that might be going through something that has been seriously bad in their life for a long time, and I don't know, but yeah, it's just something that we never quite had something we have to worry about. Although it is very important that our family is involved, but I don't think, but that's not that is a non-issue. It's like we're not picking up rocks and looking under leaves for problems that don't exist.
Right.
That doesn't exist in our circle.
Yeah. And I would think that you definitely, the only proof you need is yourself, because it's only two of you all that are in a relationship. But it probably is easier when, everyone does get along and they're able to, like Chrissy said, be your tribe and support you along your journey, because then you don't have to worry about them leaves under the rocks. You know what I mean? And so that's also just a testament to like what you prayed for, Patrice. I know like you're very family oriented. And so it's really, you found someone that was after your own heart, that was also after, your family's heart. So I just wanted to thank
I love this.
Yes, look how beautiful that is.
Quick comment about this picture. So we got our proofs back, and I was like, when did we take this picture? This was like a candid. Like we're very goofy. Like we laugh all the time. Like Christian, I laugh all the time. Papi, I used to call him the male Patrice, and he didn't like that, so I stopped saying that. But we're so similar. We laugh all the time. Like We didn't even
perfect match.
Yeah, perfect match. We didn't even this is a candid picture. You know how some pictures they like pose, smile. This was not one of those. So, but it's one of our favorite pictures.
I love
I
this
love
picture.
it.
Love it.
Yes,
I
I
love this
love it
picture.
too.
Yes, 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 yes. So, thank you, Papi. As I said, you are welcome to stay on while we continue talking to Patrice. Thank you so much for you all sharing your beautiful love story. Patrice, I just gotta know, like, as we talk about, like, as we just finished talking about just how much love is here, and it's crazy because it's like it's coming through the screen. I hope that those of you all that are watching can
Mm-hmm.
feel that. I want
I
to
hope
know,
so.
like, where did it start for you? So if we were in a movie, and they say, I'm sure you're wondering, like, how I got here, right?
Mhm.
When you think about, like, this Patrice, or
It
I don't
was
know when this was taken. I don't know when it was taken, but if you think about the Patrice before Papi, who was she, and what was her journey to get? Oh, are we doing a toast? Oh, we didn't actually
You
before
wanted to see
Poppy
this
leaves.
picture.
Yes, before Poppy leaves, can we do a toast? Because we all have our glasses to say
Yeah.
thank you, to
You
toast
wanted to
to
see the
you.
other picture y'all posted.
Oh, okay. Toast. I will post it again. Toasting to the newlyweds. Cheers.
Thank
Salud.
Cheers.
yours. Yes.
Salud. Thank you. So, Patrice, when you think about pre-Poppy, Patrice pre-Poppy, who was she? What was her journey to get here?
So it's so funny because, and I don't think I use this word with Poppy, but oh look, hurry, it's a picture. Look at that hair, some
Get
highlights.
off yourself.
So I would say, okay, I would say, and I hate to use this word, but I'm gonna use it. I was kind of eager. I was a little, I'm not gonna say desperate, but I was a little eager because I was a certain age, and I was like, oh, yet another failed relationship. And then and my friend actually, she toasted, she made made a toast at our wedding at the reception to Detroit. Yeah, I'm calling her out. And she said, remember we had
I
that
remember
conversation?
that.
Yeah, Chrissy, remember. She and I, we go to Ava Ailey in Black History Month, February. That's our thing. So we were in the car, and she was like, girl, you gotta cut them stragglers. And I was like, what you mean? She was like, you doing double dutch. What we doing here? What we doing here? And I was like, well, it's comfortable. And she was like, you doing this. What are you doing? And so I was like, well, I don't want to start all over. I was getting really eager, and I was getting kind of anxious is the word. That's the word. Thank you. That's the word. So that Patrice, I was really anxious because I was like, oh my goodness, something else ended. you know, what am I going to do? Am I ever going to get married? Am I ever going to be a mom? Am I ever? Am I ever? Am I ever? Am I ever? And I think, Rashana, you said earlier, we have this timeline. I had a timeline since I was 10. The timeline was get married at 25 and be finished having babies by 30. And so when I turned 25, I was like, this is not what I intended for myself. And then I heard God say, who time we on? And I kind of talked to God like, well, look, I mean, you ain't having the babies. I ain't Sarah. I'm not trying to be 90, So then I took a step back. So after that conversation with Saditra, and like I said, I had that prayer in January. I prayed, but then I still was kind of like, well, when is this going to happen for me? So then like around March, I don't know what it was. It was kind of like this. And that picture was taken December of 2019. So 2 years ago. That one, yeah. I chose that picture because I love wine, dogs, and the weekend. Like those are my favorite things outside of Poppy, of course.
Hence the
My
shirt.
mom and Teddy. Plus dogs on there. Okay. I gotta get a shirt that says Poppy, wine, dogs, and the weekend. But something came over me in March, and I was like, okay, Lord, what's going on? And it was kind of like. And I'm not trying to be all spiritual and religious, but I really am spiritual. I'm not religious at all. I'm very spiritual.
Girl, you
And I
can be
kept
spirit all
hearing,
up in here, okay? Do not
yeah, I
apologize
kept
for being
hearing,
spirit.
yeah, I kept hearing be anxious for nothing. And I wore this shirt too because we are all God's glamorous girl. So
Yeah, I was looking at that. I was like, I like that.
Yes, I love
yeah,
that.
thank you. And I just kept hearing be anxious for nothing. be anxious for nothing. What did I tell you? And like God kind of brought, and Rashana, you made a post about this almost 8 years ago about my house. So God was kind of like, okay, what about when you said you wanted to go to grad school for free? What happened? I got my master's for free in 2 years. And then he was like, what did you say about your house? You want to have your house built. I had my house built literally no stress, no strain, no struggle. I was calling the loan
Right.
office like, do you need anything else? You need any more money? They were like, ma'am, you're good. We don't need anything. I was anxious. God
Mhm.
said, what did I show you? Masters, house, wedding, husband, children. He keeps, it's like he keeps showing me, and I was like, okay, okay. So around March, I was just kind of like, Patrice, why are you being anxious? You know who your father is. You know what he told you. Like, is he going to do something for one person that he's not going to do for you? He's no respecter of person. So if he's going to do it for X, he's going to do it for you. And even at Christy's wedding, I was like, oh, another friend got married. You know, my other friend Denise, oh, another friend got married. God was like, I mean, we hear him, but we're kind of like, I don't want to hear it. Just being honest.
No,
You
that's
know?
real.
So
Very.
that's where I was. I was like, okay, Patrice, you gotta stop limiting God. Number one, you gotta stop limiting God. Number two, you gotta stop limiting yourself because you are well deserving. And that was another thing. I was like, am I deserving of this? Because I've done some stuff in my past where, it wasn't favorable. I wasn't proud of, but you know, God forgave me, so why can't I forgive myself? So
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
spoke so many words right there.
Yeah. Yeah. For
I
those who
told you I
can't see
talk
our
a lot.
faces, we're just sitting here like we're just taking it all
No,
in.
I mean, like you spoke a word, like, but a lot, like a word.
Yeah.
You was giving it to us. You had me
Yes.
thinking about just like not to be anxious because God has taken care of everything else. So why am I
Yeah.
worried about what's to come? Whatever
Yeah.
else that I want to happen, why am I worried about it? Because He's met all of my needs, all of my wants. Like He's going to do it in His time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I literally look back because I know y'all have a list. I have a list for a list. I literally look back at my list and was like, okay, God, you funny for real. You funny. You right. You right. Like literally everything on the list, check, check. Like I lied to you not. Like check, 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 check. Even down to Papi, the prayer. Like I said earlier, I was like, okay, everything on this list and then a little extreme, So he has literally, and I'm not gonna cry. He's literally not failed me yet. So it's like, okay, Patrice, why would he fail you in this area? Even like with having children, I'm like, oh man, they say you high risk after 35. Again, he hasn't failed me yet. There are people that are continuing to have kids over 35, over 40, over a certain age, and they're healthy. So yeah. Ooh, I need some tissue.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I feel like
Mm-hmm.
I need tissue also. I have the tissue here.
Ooh.
I'm really, yeah. I'm like really just trying to get through this. Trying to get through this podcast so I can just end and cry. And really cry tears just of joy.
Mm-hmm.
Because that is what I would describe watching your journey. Like there's some people that you might not know, but you watch them on social media. And I think that is really what gets people, particularly with Sierra and Russell Wilson. Not to big them up or anything, because we don't know like what goes on behind closed doors. But
Mm-hmm.
like I think people feel like we saw Sierra grow as a woman,
Mm-hmm.
and so we saw her go through the not so great things, to finally get someone who just really appreciates her, where we can see her glow. And I think
Mm-hmm.
like watching Patrice, as I said, I know Patrice through Christy, and I watch her closely through social media, which I appreciate that you do. You are a public person because
Yeah, I'm the public one.
because I've had the opportunity just to watch, you know what I mean, to really have a, I don't know, second row seat or orchestra seat to your life. And I just, like I said, the tears are really just joy because that is really what it's felt. Um, just thinking about, like I said, I will never forget on our way to Marvin's, you were driving and I was in the back seat and you were just talking through like, this ain't it. You know what I mean? And talking through that. And every woman that I know, when I think it's important, I think it's important for women to know that you are really deserving of everything that you are purposed for.
Mhm.
And every woman that I know who held out, who people said they had too high of standards, that they need to just hurry up and get it done because they're a certain age.
Mhm.
People who said that they need to start broadening their horizons because they've reached a certain level of financial stability or educational success, or you have your own house, like all of those things that people use, that the world prides as something that's supposed to be like beautiful. But I feel like for women, I don't know if this happens to white women, I can't speak on any other race but me as a black woman. But I would imagine it might be similar. um I feel like for women it's like a beautiful thing, but then it's also this like idea that the more you achieve, the less your standards from men have to be. But every woman that I know, like you said, who has been anxious for nothing, and who has trusted God, and who has understood that her purpose was divinely ordained, has gotten, just like you said, exceedingly and abundantly
Mhm.
above everything that she could ask or think. And like like I'm just recalling women like
Yeah.
that I know. You know what I mean? Others who didn't, they they were short. They were short-sighted. They were short-sighted by God. So I just really appreciate your story. I appreciate that God is first in your marriage because he was first in your life prior to. You know what I mean? And I just yeah, I'm just really happy to have had you here. And I guess my next question is, oh, Courtney, do you have a question? Okay. Um what I wanted to know, as someone who is single, right? Who is honestly in the exact same place where you're talking about. Like I can't continue to put energy towards trying to figure it out. You know what I mean? Like God is going to do what
Mhm.
he's going to do when he's going to do it. What um I don't know, it could be advice, or it could just be, this is what I did, what works for me.
Mhm.
What what do you have for that woman that's like you said, that's just like at that place where she's tired?
Yeah, sure. I would say number one, pray. And then just kind of like let it go. And I hate to bring this up, but I love this song. Like, let it go. Like the Frozen song, just literally let it go. And it's going to come. I know it's easier said than done because everyone's like, oh, it's going to happen when you least expect it. It's actually really, really, really true. Like, that's honestly probably the truest thing I've ever heard. But I would say let it, just pray, and then the other thing I would say, and you're probably gonna laugh, Prince Charming is not gonna break in your house. If he tried to break in your house, he's not Prince Charming. You have to go out. Like faith without works is what? Dead. So you have to work it. You can't just say, I'm gonna be in the house. It's a pandemic. I understand the pandemic and the restrictions, right? Be safe, number one. So don't get me wrong, but you can't just stay in the house and just think, oh, somebody gonna come in my house, somebody gonna break in my house. It's gonna be the delivery boy. It's gonna be Amazon. That's very, very rare. The probability of the Amazon delivery person or Peapod or Instacart, it's very rare. So I do think that you do have to get out there. Do you have to look for it? I don't think you should have to look for it because I just believe in not calling people out. But I believe the people that I've encountered, I'll use that, that were desperate, it didn't work out. It didn't work. It wasn't favorable at all. The end result of what they wanted didn't work out. So I would say my advice would be number one, pray. Number two, just release it and let it go. And like Papi mentioned earlier, he doesn't pray for things, he thanks God for whatever. So I would just thank God for it. Just be
Gratitude.
grateful. Have this heart of gratitude.
Yep.
And I think that's why I came into his life. I think that's why I'm so great. Because he had this, I'm being funny, but because he had this
No,
No,
seriously.
you
heart of
didn't.
gratitude. he had this heart of gratitude. He has a very pure heart. So I think just praying, letting it go, having a heart of gratitude, and going out there and just meeting people, with your mask on, with your hand sanitizer, elbowing it, just meeting people, getting out there, but not just being complacent, and then maybe step out of your comfort zone. I've never been the type of person, and my family, when I told my family I was engaged, they already knew that he was Latin. They already knew. They were like, I've never been the type of person that said, oh, sorry, Hispanic. I never was this type of person who said that I was only going to date one ethnicity. Like I only believe in one race, human race, right? So I never said, oh, I'm only going to date black men, or I'm only going to date white men, or I'm only going to date Hispanic men. I date when the opportunity presents itself. I date, and I love men, right? So I love all types of men, short, tall. I don't like the big ones, but
I was about to say,
small.
but Patrice, you also like short because you short.
Hey, I wear heels a lot, so you can't
I
really
know,
say
but I'm
that.
just saying, if you were, I'd be interested to see if you were tall.
I know, but
And I'm
I'm
sorry to all
saying
the
like
short men that might watch this show. This is not a slight towards you. I'm just.
right, but I'm saying don't limit yourself because I have
Mhm.
not calling anybody out. They may watch your pod, but I have people, my friends who are like, okay, I'll stop saying friends so they won't figure out who I'm talking about. People I've encountered. There was too late now, right? But they'll be like,
This season's called Real Raw Relevant. Okay, so
okay, so I'm gonna be real. I have friends who are like, or am I dating him? He light skinned. Or am I dating him? He dark skinned. Or am I dating him? He don't have a beard. Although I did tell my husband if he cuts his beard, it's a deal breaker. I did. That's why he laughed in the background.
I mean, I feel like if as you meet a person, some things are negotiable, right?
Right. So
Right?
I
Because I
said
bet
all that
you
to
like it.
say you can't say, oh girl, he works at Starbucks. What if he's the CEO of Starbucks? You about to get free Starbucks for life. So don't limit yourself also. Not saying you do, but I've dated like Asian, black, white, Hispanic. Like, I've dated a plethora of men, and it's been a very great learning experience. Oh, and the other thing, like my pastor told me, sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. You never lose. You never lose. So, and that's what also kind of tailored and shaped the prayer that I prayed last January, because I was kind of like, okay, this is what I've learned from all these relationships. This is what I don't want, and this is what I do want, and this is what I also want that I never got from the relationships that I feel like I'm deserving of. So
Yes, when
that's
you
my
said that,
advice.
all I heard was young and May. I could never lose. What you thought? Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, that's
Does anyone have any more thoughts or questions for Patrice? If not, I would definitely. Oh, Courtney? No?
No, 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 no. No, I'm just taking it all in. I'm just
true.
absorbing it all, and really enjoying this conversation. It's a really good conversation. As the other single person on the podcast, it's really inspiring to sit here and
Thank
have
you.
this conversation with you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. So, as you know, our podcast is about living on 1000. And we talk a lot about friendship. Um, what does friendship mean, or has it looked like
Ooh,
through your entire journey to marriage?
that is tough. That's why I was
Mhm.
like covering my face. And Christy's giving me the eye because she knows. I would say, whew, and I'm gonna call people out. My friend Leah, and my friend Kime, they put it very eloquently. They said that you will know people when you are dealing with funerals, births, and weddings.
Mhm.
And this season that I'm in, I am not even going to begin. I never in a million years thought that, and I'm choosing my words carefully here. Relationships would have shifted. I'll say
Mm.
that. Um, the friends that I didn't expect to, I'm trying to find the word. I didn't expect to be there at the on 1,000, right? Because we're on 1,000.
Yep.
The friends thank you, Lord. The friends that I didn't expect to be there on 1,000 have been there on 1,000.
Yeah.
And it has been like the most refreshing thing ever. And not to say that those other relationships weren't missed. It was a lot easier for me to cope. It wasn't as difficult, if that makes sense. So I value friendships like I value family. I call them family, right? Friends are family that you pick. These family members, you won't get to pick them. We born into this family. So the friends that I have, I think I have a good circle of friends. I really do. I would say I probably have, and my mom always told me you should only have the amount of friends you can count on two hands. But I would say I have about 15 close, good friends. I know that's a lot, but like those 15 people, and Christy's one of them. Those 15 people, I can text and be like, I need to talk. Like, this is how I'm feeling. What do you think? And they do the same thing. It's not give, 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 give. It's like
Yeah.
give and take. It's reciprocated. And there were times throughout this process, the process being like my engagement and my leading up to our wedding, that I cried. Like I sobbed over these relationships like every day for like 3 months. What's this, November? I have not cried this month. And I'm not trying to say that to say it lightly, but I'm just growing and I'm understanding. And a friendship is to be reciprocated. And if you're going to give and give and give, that's fine. But also reciprocate that. Don't always take and take and take, or don't say what you're going to do, and just be communicative. We learned this in kindergarten. Treat people the way you want to be treated. And so I feel like when you're not treated that way, then it's a problem. And I think I dealt with it for a very long time. It was masked. It was masked. And I kind of saw people for who they were, and it was tough. I don't know if those relationships can be mended. I'm not sure. I'm not worried about it. I'm not going to be anxious over it anymore. And so, God kind of pushed those people out and had these other people who were already my friends. They were just, like you said, on this 1,000. And I was like, oh, snap. I didn't even know y'all were like about me like that for real, to put it lightly. So, and like Leah and Kime said, you have friends for different seasons. You don't wear sandals in the wintertime if you live in Maryland.
Season.
You don't wear Ugg boots in July if you live in Maryland. You have certain shoes for certain seasons. So I was like, but yeah, Leah, she need to be a pastor. But anyway, and Kime, she been married 85 years.
Shout out to Kime, because I met Kime through Patrice.
I tell
she
you,
has been such a blessing to me. So shout out to her.
She be spitting that knowledge, I'm trying to tell you. So, and I was just like, I was talking to God and I was like, okay. And then shout out to Deanna too. I was like, okay, friends that I've had for years, but never really like, I don't want to say utilized, but I don't have the word, but never like, I don't know,
the frequency of connection or contact wasn't there. And it increased. And I mean, sometimes, that's how God works. You have people who are like the same way like God is building you for different relationships or friendships. He might have been building that up, because he knew that the time would come. He already ordained that. Like he knew that the time was come for that. This would be the time that you would need that person. You know what I mean? And so I definitely think that's important. So my last question to you, Patrice, is when you look at this photo, this just reminds me of opportunities and possibilities. So what is next? What is to come for Patrice?
Next is these babies. Right, boo? Hey, language.
Babies.
Next are these babies.
Multiple. How many?
Babies.
So and like I said, I've always had this list for a list, right? I've always said I wanted 4. The way, and I am going to shout out my age. The way my age is set up, I don't, unless, God, he, like I said, he got a sense of humor. Them
2 at once. You got 4 at once.
Right. You can end up with quadruplets.
I do not receive that, Courtney. That 4 at once. No, ma'am.
It's possible.
Somebody said we were going to have triplets. I was like, I don't receive that.
You never know.
I
Mm-mm.
know my friend, shout out to Chanel. I don't know if she watched podcast, but I'll make sure she watched this episode since I shouted her out. Her aunt, I never forget in high school, her aunt got married at 40 and wanted children. And she had 2 sets of twins
Mm. So my doctor, and
back
shout
to
out to
back.
my OB, she said that the older you are, the more likely you are to have twins because of your hormones. And I was like,
Yeah, they're
honestly,
popping
I
out.
would love
They're
to have
popping out.
twins. Yeah, I would love it. So I'm not opposed to that. But I
Yes,
don't know about 4 anymore. But like what Poppy and I both said in this order, y'all gonna laugh. As long as our children are healthy,
that's right.
good looking, and intelligent.
Hey,
Like you gotta
those
be
are
good
all
looking.
good.
Like you gotta be good looking. Because if not, I'm gonna be like, oh, that's on his
Well, look at
side.
the parents. You already know that's
That
a
ain't on my
given.
side. Yeah.
That ain't on my.
So
That's your side. That's your boy.
that's your side, yeah. But as long as they're healthy, as many he wants to bless us with, and like Poppy always says, people are like, because you know how it is, Chris. You know, you get engaged when you get married. You get married
Oh
when
my
you having
God.
kids. You have one
Let me
kid
tell
when you have
you,
another kid.
it's been 2.5
Oh,
years and I still get it like 1 to 2 times a week. So it
yeah,
never stops until you pop them out. And then even
exactly.
after you
So
pop them out, it's probably like when you having the next one.
exactly. And then when you have the kids, when you like 8, when you retiring, can you let me live? So he
Can
put
I
it
live?
really well. Right. He put it really well. He was like, as many as we can afford. So.
That's real.
And I also said, like, I don't care if I have 18 kids, I am never driving a minivan. Either someone is not going or we're taking multiple cars. Like, I'm not doing it. So,
Well, I'm
yeah.
cracking up inside about all this. This has been a really great conversation. And I
Yeah.
definitely know that I have some things that I am taking away. Um, so I want to ask each of you, and I'm going to start with Christy, as she is also someone that recently got married. I don't know. How long can we say recently? Can we still call you say recent?
I still feel like it's recent. We're still
Okay.
newlyweds to me.
Okay, good. Okay, good. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Who's recently married? What is your takeaway from this conversation?
Mine's is be anxious for nothing.
Yeah, I was actually gonna say that's the same thing. The song that kept coming to my head when you were talking, Patrice, is if he did it before, he can do it
We'll
again.
do it again.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
that is the song, and I'm trying to read my prayer board because I can't read it. But there is a quote that I like, and it's like blessed. I'm gonna find it. It's like blessed is she who believed or something. Let me find it. Um, Yeah, so it's Luke 145, and it's blessed is she who believed that the Lord would keep his promises to her. And it's sad that I don't know it by heart because that was my scripture for 2021. And we're at the end of 2021. So I'm gonna make sure I know it by December 31st.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's that's what I'm taking away. Courtney, got the QUN or like
Well, I didn't know if you were going to ask Patrice or me first. That's
Oh no, no, no. I'm not so sorry, Patrice. I'm actually not asking you because I feel like you do the conversation, you've given away so much. You know what I mean? If you want to add something that you didn't get a chance to say, feel free to do that.
Um,
But I've received so much.
I will. Well, you brought up a good point when you talked about Luke. My first lady, she has a prayer, and I think she prayed it over her children, and I have it up in our bathroom on the mirror. I'm that person. So I have my favorite scripture, which is Proverbs 3:5-6, like absolute favorite, and then I have Dr. Didi's prayer. It says, Father, I thank you that you will expose, remove, and reveal anyone who is not like you and who does not have my best interest at heart. And I've like shared this with so many of my friends, male and female. So I would just add that.
Yes. Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I actually have 2 takeaways. Wow, that's my face was right there. So I actually have 2 takeaways. The first one, I think Poppy said it earlier, is like do or go as you feel or do as you feel. That's the first one. And then the second one that I have from Patrice is just stay true to who you are. And that's one thing I've always known about her is she just stayed true to who she was. She didn't change the things that she wanted. She didn't change who she was for anyone. And she got exactly what she desired. So that is what I am taking away from this conversation. And since my face is on the screen, I will. So, thank you, Patrice and Papi, for coming on the show. This conversation has been so amazing. Like Roshana said, we have been really excited to have you on and just hear more about your journey and about the things that not only have you shared with us, but that you grew into to become and get to where you are now. So thank you so much for sharing that. And then for our listeners, as always, do we need to do our, yes, thank you. So if you haven't gotten your From Brunch to Launch tickets, you can go check that out either at the link in our bio, or you can go to vocalaction.com/invest for tickets for Brunch to Launch, which is Saturday, January 8th, 2022. From 11 to 2 p.m. Now, if you want to do it virtual, you can do that. Or if you want to come in person and have brunch at a beautiful home in Maryland, you can do that as well.
Oh, wait, show the box. Show the box. Ain't that such a good box?
Chrissy, you got to bring the box.
Yes, I got my kit.
Yes. Oh, my God. Is that how it came?
I have to do an unboxing. So.
Yes.
Yeah, I have to do an unboxing, so check out our page at 1000 Club Live.
Yes.
Dang. I'm glad I got sturdy boxes because USPS was not kind to that box. Like, look, this. I hope I didn't break anything. But this is how they look like when I cover the face. This is how they look when I first mail them. You know what I mean? They're all
yeah. They did not handle with care.
Hey, and I put fragile. I'm mailing it fragile. Look at that.
Oh man. Okay, so if you haven't got your tickets from Brunch to Launch, and you loved our boxes that you saw today, you can sign up to get an amazing box from Vocal Action and get an amazing spot at From Brunch to Launch. And as always, new episodes are released every other Thursday. You can listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcast. You can also watch our lovely faces and see our facial expressions on YouTube. You can watch us on YouTube at 1000 Cup Life, and be sure to like, subscribe, and to comment and review to help us grow our tribe. Our next episode drops December 16th, wherever you get your listening and viewing, and wherever that is, you will see us. So you can find us. So there's no reason why you should not be listening, subscribing, and commenting. Okay? Thank you. Any last thoughts from our lovely tribe and our VIP guests before we VIP guests? Yeah, I was drinking this whole glass of wine. VIP guests before we close it out.
Just thank you for having Papi and myself. He's over there on the couch watching TV and said he's asleep. But thank you for having us on the podcast. I promise I'll do better at listening to the podcast and subscribing and liking.
Okay, just listen to
and share.
And share. I mean, that's real raw relevant. That's real raw relevant.
That is.
That's very real.
Yeah. And Courtney and Roshana, don't lose faith. Don't lose hope. He is out there. Yeah.
And I just got to leave my house so he can find me. Praise God.
You got to leave your house. Maybe not once a week. Maybe once a week. Just once a week.
Courtney be out in the street.
I know, I do. But I need to, you know what? I need to not be in the streets. I need to be other places.
Yeah, I don't know, because remember Papi said he was in the streets till he met Patrice.
That's true. I mean? That's true. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Does Papi have any last words before we close out? Since he walked back.
Any last words?
Yes. Somebody fill me in the last 30 seconds or 1 minute of conversation so I could pick up where we left off.
Give us your takeaways or your giveaways from the conversation that we had today.
No, I absolutely enjoyed you guys. It's been a lot of fun. I was laughing. I was listening to mommy talking, and I was absorbing all of it. I love what you're doing, Miss Roshana, Miss Courtney, and Miss Christy. I remember you, Christy. I remember you from the wedding. You were in tears. I saw you.
Oh.
And,
Yeah, I think I got a little teary-eyed, and I normally don't cry at weddings. So
I was
this
saying,
is
Chrissy,
I'm over here shocked. Like I'm like, Christy cried.
Yeah,
I
Chrissy's
don't,
not
I don't
really
know if I was
crier.
crying. Maybe it was Jessica. She was next to me. Like, no, I don't
Hey,
know.
whoa.
Maybe
Hold
holding
up,
the wind
Papi. She was
like
up there crying. That's
crying.
right.
No, I
But
did
thank
get
you.
teary-eyed
Yeah,
because
thank you for your tears. Like we
thank you for your
appreciate it.
tears.
I know.
Well, I mean, in a sentimental way, like thank you for sharing your emotions with us. You brought all that to the party. You brought all that to the wedding. We took all that with us. So we took all that positive energy from the wedding, and we are still living in the wedding right now. We're still living in the energy from the wedding we had like a month ago. Like, so we got this 10-minute clip video, and then we got this long movie that was sent to us. And mommy doesn't notice, but I watch it every morning when
No,
I get to work.
I see you. I hear you watching. You watch it.
Oh,
oh,
that's so sweet.
Love it.
I hear the song and I'm like, he's watching.
What's the
Whatever.
song? What's the
She is so insensitive.
before we go? What is the song? And was that your? And then I have questions about the whole playlist. What song did you walk into, Patrice? What was your first dance? And what's the song that he listens to every morning?
So the song I walked into was Whitney Houston, I Believe in You and Me. Shout out to Leah. She sang the song. And then our first dance. Oh, so last year, really, really, really quick. Last year, I took Papi to oh dang,
The Ritz and Tyson.
yeah, Ritz Carlton and Tyson's, and there was this live 3-string quartet, and they were singing this song, and Papi was like sobbing. He was like, "Mommy, that's it, that's it." And I was sometimes I can be a jerk. I was like, "What? What's it? What are you talking about?" He's like, "That's the song," and I was like, "Oh, okay. Can I get a glass of wine?"
I didn't sound
He was
like that, but
"No,
I'll
Mommy,
take
that's
it.
it." And so we chose the song "You and I" by Stevie Wonder.
But not the lame song. I wanted the live version. Like, this dude did like the whole.
Rashana, you on mute.
Oh, I was gonna say that song to me. You're right. You gotta have the live version. Like, there's nothing like that
Yeah.
song sung live.
So that was our first dance, and then our photographer, videographer, OM freaking G. Like, shout out to our mentor and her team. Like,
Shout out.
I was like, I want to give you like my whole paycheck as a tip. Like, absolutely amazing.
Like that.
So the clip they had, the song, one of my it was like she was so in tune. I know I'm talking too much. One of my favorite songs, Best Part by her and Daniel
Caesar.
Daniel Woods.
I
So yeah, every time I hear the song when it starts, I'm like, he watching that wedding video again. So yeah, that's the first part of the song, and then the other half is Tamia and Eric Benet, Spend My Life. 2 great songs. Like, Best Part is one of my favorite songs.
So get this. So this happened naturally. Like, we had no saying that.
No,
she
we
just
didn't.
knew
Yeah.
that was it. So and then second part of your question, like the song that I walked into, I have no idea.
She didn't ask about your song.
She did. She said, "What song did you walk into, Pop?"
She said me.
No, she
It's
said
fine.
Pop.
It's fine. He wants to answer it. It's okay.
She said, "Poppy."
What's the name of it?
I said, "I don't know."
Perfect by Ed Sheeran.
Hey, I don't even know who Ed is. I don't know who that man is.
We were playing songs and he heard it and he started crying. He was like, "That's it."
What,
Poppy knows like words, but he doesn't know like who sings
the
them.
walking song?
Yeah. He sings them. He doesn't know who sings them. He adds his own words. It's actually hilarious.
Yes. Well, on that note, y'all have just inspired me to create a 1,000 love playlist for February, and I'm gonna make sure that I put those songs on the playlist. So because it's really. Oh, this is just filling me in so many ways. So for those of you all that need to go grab tissue because
add another song. This is why I love you.
Yes. I'm gonna make sure I add that. So thank you, Papi. Thank you, Patrice. As always, thank y'all. And with that, we will see you next time. Peace.